They said my lawn was too lush, too perfect, like it was hiding something. The man stood there, clipboard in hand, voice flat like he was reading from a cheap script. I almost laughed. But when he slapped a citation on my mailbox, his mirrored sunglasses glinting, I knew this wasn't a routine HOA visit. It was a shakedown. The guy in the polo shirt didn't know who he was messing with. The quiet homeowner in a hoodie and scuffed boots wasn't just another pushover. I was ex-internal affairs. And his little performance? It was now evident. The morning had started too quietly, birds chirping like a canned soundtrack, coffee brewing too smoothly. Even the neighbor's annoying terrier was silent. So when a beige sedan with no logo rolled up like it owned the street, I smelled trouble. He didn't introduce himself, just marched onto my lawn, scribbling. Said my mailbox was too reflective. A safety hazard. I asked for ID. He smirked like a conman and said, "You don't need that." Then he hinted the fines could vanish for some cash. My grip tightened on my mug. A bribe, right in my driveway. What didn't he know? My front mic was recording, and my backyard camera was watching. He handed me a form, no HOA letterhead, just vague fines and a scrawled signature, Victor Crane. I played along, nodded, and said, "Let me get my wallet." Inside, my pulse raced. 2 minutes, that's all I needed to reroute the camera feed, save the audio, and ping an old contact at the DA's office. Subject: HOA scam. You'll want this. When I returned, Victor was photographing my bird feeder, muttering about unapproved structures. He was casing my property, not inspecting it. I slipped him a folded $20. He pocketed it without a glance. "Pleasure doing business," he said, tapping the form. "Final amount next week. Might be steep unless you're cooperative." He winked and strutted to his car like he'd won. That clipboard wasn't paperwork, it was a weapon, and I'd just turned it against him. I ran Victor's name through the HOA registry. No title, not even a contractor, just a compliance volunteer. But the real kicker? He had 2 prior charges for impersonating a city official, both quietly dropped. Someone powerful was covering for him. By noon, 3 neighbors called me. All had been hit by Victor, fines for roses, patio chairs, even holiday lights. The connection? They'd all opposed a petition pushed by HOA President Laura Hensley last month. This wasn't enforcement. It was revenge. I dug like I was back on the job, HOA minutes, bylaws, online forums. Victor's pattern was clear: absurd fines, hush payments, and threats. One neighbor got a ticket for a non-compliant wind chime. Another paid to make a fine disappear. I mapped his visits, cross-referencing with home values and listings. He targeted houses just below peak value, owned by those who rejected Laura's proposals. One neighbor, fined relentlessly, sold cheap. The buyer? A firm tied to Laura's husband, Hensley Realty. This wasn't petty HOA nonsense. It was a criminal racket. I decided to burn it down. I called Tom, a grizzled vet across the street who fed squirrels like they were family. When I played Victor's bribery audio, his eyes darkened. "Come inside," he said. His living room was a fortress of files, violations for flagpoles, pumpkins, and grass height. All signed by Victor. I fought back. Tom growled. But they'd delay my appeals, reschedule hearings. I gave up. Next, I visited Maria, a landscaper who got a $1,800 fine for non-native lavender, HOA-approved lavender. "I framed it," she said, pointing to her fridge. "Reminds me never to bow to bullies." These weren't random fines. They targeted rebels, people who voted no, asked questions, refused to conform. Victor wasn't just a thug, he was Laura's enforcer in a system built to crush dissent. I rewatched my footage, slowing it down. Victor's eyes didn't wander, they scanned, shared gate, mailbox. He was scoping my house for leverage, not violations. I looped in an ADA Sarah, who didn't flinch when I said racketeering and HOA in one breath. I sent her everything: audio, video, Tom's files, Maria's bills. "Give me a week," she said. "If this holds, they're done." While Sarah worked, I set a trap. Victor would return. Guys like him always do. I left bait: a garden hose slightly askew, a city property sticker on my trash bin, a rake by the shed. I wired 3 cameras, one in a birdhouse, one in a bush, one on the fence. Audio synced, server locked. Day 3, Tom texted. "He's back. Just left my place. Showtime." I sat in the backyard, hoodie up, pretending to read. Victor rolled in, clipboard swinging, sunglasses flashing. He didn't knock, just walked into my yard like he owned it. "Still haven't fixed your drainage," he sneered. "Drainage?" I didn't look up. He snapped photos, muttering about unsecured tools and non-standard sprinklers. Then the pitch: "A few $100, and this goes away." I waited until he leaned in, smug. "Ever worry someone's recording you?" I asked. He laughed. "Not legal without consent." I stood. "It is on my property." His smirk faltered. "Stay right there," I said. "Cops are 60 seconds out. Think fast." His jaw tightened, eyes darting. 2 unmarked cruisers slid in, blocking his car. Victor froze, clipboard slipping. "I'm authorized by the board," he barked, voice cracking. "Not anymore," I said. They cuffed him by my roses. The next morning, the neighborhood hummed. Neighbors lingered on porches, eyeing the street. They didn't just want gossip, they wanted hope. Victor was the first domino, but Laura was the queen. I laid out the evidence: fines, footage, timelines. Every violation is tied to dissent or a low-ball sale to Hensley Realty. This was real estate extortion, plain and simple. To get Laura, I needed her voice. I created a fake Facebook profile: Emma Stone, new neighbor, eager to fit in. I joined the HOA's private group, like Laura's posts, and asked naive questions. She bit, messaging me: "Support our vision, and things stay smooth. We protect our own." I pushed, saying I was nervous about inspections. Her reply: "Don't worry about Victor. He got sloppy. I'm handling it now." Checkmate was close. I suggested coffee at a quiet cafe. Laura agreed with no hesitation. I wore a wig, sunglasses, and a hidden mic. She walked in, blazer crisp, smile polished, and launched into strategy. "This neighborhood's a gem," she said, sipping espresso. "But some people need persuading." I asked who got extra attention. Her eyes gleamed. "The loud ones. The no voters. We can't have chaos." I mentioned Victor. She waved it off. Useful until he got greedy. "I keep it cleaner now." She bragged about finding a homeowner into selling. "Most take the out," she said, patting my hand. "You're one of us, Emma." I sent the audio to Sarah. She called in 10 minutes. "This is a smoking gun." 2 days later, Laura was mid-speech at an HOA gala, preaching community pride. Officers interrupted, whispering. Her wine glass shattered on the floor. They escorted her out as the crowd gaped. No headlines yet, but every phone was recording. At home, I found a folder in Laura's seized files labeled 2026 Plans. Inside, a list of targets. Top name: Arthur Lane, a widower 3 doors down who fixed clocks in his garage. His violations? Hedge height, a welcome sign his late wife painted, and running a business for free repairs. I visited him. He nodded, unsurprised, and handed me his file. "I didn't fight," he said. "Maybe it's time." I went door to door, not issuing fines but listening. 10 homes, 7 fined, 2 forced to sell. One woman sobbed, thinking she was crazy for suspecting a conspiracy. Then the HOA retaliated: a parking complaint, a dented mailbox, a letter threatening legal consequences. Sloppy, desperate, and perfect for Sarah. She filed to suspend the HOA's powers. At their emergency meeting, I crashed with 2 officers and a stack of evidence. The acting president, Carl, choked when I dropped witness statements and recordings. The judge ruled the next morning. HOA enforcement halted. Kids biked freely. Gnomes reappeared. Arthur was elected to lead a new council, tears in his eyes. The neighborhood was ours again. But was justice enough? Laura and Victor exposed a system that preys on trust. Could it happen again? What do you think? Was I right to play their game, deception for deception? Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you faced an HOA nightmare? Let's debate. When is it okay to fight dirty to win? Hit that like button if you're Team Takedown, and subscribe for more real-life dramas. Let's keep the conversation going.